So about 4 years back, I was in grade 8, I believe. No, wait, actually, no. I was in grade 10. So, it's been a while. So about 4 years ago, I was in this public speaking workshop organized by school. And at that event, they asked us to make a small speech. And the topic was life is like a box of chocolates. So what I said that life's like a box of chocolates is that there are multiple experiences we have in life, and like assortment of chocolates in a box, we'll have multiple experiences given out in front of us, and each chocolate would be interpreted in different ways by different people. And in the same way, the same chocolate could be interpreted in very, very different ways by very different people. So my point is that life is like a box of chocolates because of all the unique experiences that we have as people. And these experiences are what makes us who we are, right? These experiences that we create over, especially during our childhood, is what defines who we are for the rest of our lives most of the time. So my topic is going to be, what are my experiences? So to begin with, I want everyone to know here that I am very active in my extracurricular activities. So mainly in debating, MUN and Interact, and also drama, which unfortunately I wasn't a big part of for the last few years. So my journey really started with drama back in grade 8, where I joined the drama troupe, and I was involved in multiple performances, even a full-length production, also 4 years ago. So after joining the drama troupe back in grade 8, I started learning about how teamwork works, and then the inner working of theatre, and how basically the logistics behind a lot of production work. And it really grew my interest into going into that side of like event planning, which came handy much later in my life. So that was for grade 8, and then I started being active in debating an MUN in grade 10, which was where we were kind of in the senior section of school. So I was first joined MUN model, which stands for Model United Nations, and there we really started studying on these various topics about the world, current affairs, politics, economics, stuff like that. And there we really started that, which really opened my mind and really made me understand about what the world and what's going on around the world really is. And it really grew my knowledge on what everything is. So I started learning about these wars and these incidents all around the world, and it really grew my interest into going to these areas. And on the topic of MUN, my actual goal right now is to join the UN, or at least an NGO of that nature that's trying to be involved in all these current affairs. And this interest and this goal actually was quite recent, to be honest. I didn't make up my mind until about 6 to 7 months ago, although I had this idea in mind for more than a year, I really didn't make up my mind until 6 months ago. And so before that, I actually wanted to be a businessman or entrepreneur or something like that. Before that, I wanted to be an engineer, and then before that, I wanted to be a pilot. And I am pretty sure at least 1 in 5 children around the world wanted to be a pilot at least once in their life. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So that was for MUN, where it really grew my knowledge on current affairs and what the world really is. Moving on to debating, which I also joined around the same time, and I was involved in heavily. I started to really analyze the world, which is a word we just like throwing around a lot in debating, especially in practice. Analyze. So, which is just basically understanding more and more. So we had this activity which our coach used to give us, where we just have to keep asking why. So like we would say a certain fact, and then you just ask, why is it so? And then you'll ask, why is that so? And why is that so? And so on and so on and so on. So it goes down a very deep rabbit hole sometimes, but the entire goal of the matter is to really understand what you are and what the certain fact is. So instead of just stating a fact that you just blurt out in a debate, you're really going back through all those steps trying to understand why is this so which really makes your argumentation much better, which makes your entire argument as a whole, as a team, more convincing. So that's really what debating really did for me, where it really helped me understand about how we can question things. And not to mention all the public speaking skills, which both of them gave a lot to me heavily. And it also helped me develop a very unique style in speaking. And it also taught me like the very important factor of hand gestures and movement, which when it comes to speaking. So it really helped me in those areas to really understand, to research, to learn, to improve my knowledge apart from just my textbooks and my studies, and really understand current affairs and about the world around me. And as a caveat, it also helped me improve my speaking skills and public speaking skills, because I was, and as I still am, a bit of so socially awkward and I still do sometimes get stage fright and nervous, but then again, who doesn't? And also on the same time, even drafting a resolution is surprisingly easy. I got to learn that from MUN as well. Then moving on later in my life, back in about 2020. So in 2020, I was in grade 12, and in our school, grade 12 and 13 are the senior years. So usually that's when you get most of the committee positions. So I took up a few positions in school, such mostly secretary, and then was one post as assistant secretary. And this area gave me a lot of duties that I need to cover. So where most people would take these duties as a burden or as an obstacle, I took it with a more positive aspect, where most people just say, it's a burden, I don't really want to do this. I just said, this is where the fun begins, and I try to make my work fun. And a lot of people are very surprised when I say that I actually enjoy what I do, where I just enjoy working on spreadsheets and working on databases and making Word docs and presentations. So, and I enjoy working in a team, and I enjoy planning and logistics and event planning and project planning. So it all really, that interest really goes back to when I was doing drama as well, where I really felt in love with the logistics and the entire planning process behind the stage, that what most people don't see. So, which also goes to the point that I really don't like being on the limelight very, very often, because I prefer being back and just doing the good work. So anyway, that was for grade 12. Unfortunately, we had a pandemic which really pushed us back when it came to doing things physically. But then again, most of my duties were meant to be online, so that really worked out well for me, I would say. So around the same time, I also joined Interact as assistant secretary, and we started doing these projects, and we had to do a lot of online projects because we left much of a choice. So as assistant, I really started learning how we can work really professionally. And even today, some people actually mention that we are very professional in our work. So I really studied, I keep learning from people around me about how we can be more professional and be more good at what we do. So Interact really broadened my skill set, I would say, where MUN and debating would really improve my knowledge and my understanding. Interact really gave me that opportunity to really improve my soft skills. So apart from public speaking, of course. So I started learning about how proper email etiquette and handling emails and database management and presentations, Word documentation, all those stuff, and even a bit of PR, surprisingly. And I always tell our juniors that Interact, I would definitely, if you join Interact, you're definitely learning something, which is very true, because even I started to be interested in photo editing and even Photoshop because of exposure I got from my friends in Interact. So I always try to improve myself when it comes to the skills I have, because I really want to be like a Swiss Army knife with skills. So that is my experience when it comes to Interact. I really wanted to experience that, and develop my skills and put those skills into good use. So right now in grade 13, which is now 3 years into the pandemic. Yes, it's 3 years into the pandemic. It's been a while. No, wait, I'm in grade 14 now. Yes, it's been a long time. uh, Thankfully the country is opening up a bit more, so we are really pushing for on like physical events, and that's actually something I really am upset about, the fact that we missed physical events in the last 2 years. Because when I was in grade 10 and 11, physical events like those, going for conferences, going to debates, they were really special to me because I used to do those with my friends and my seniors. And we always had a special bond with each other. For example, a very memorable event was when we went to Singapore on tour for MUN. We went to a MUN conference, Singapore Body United Nations. That conference deserves a speech on its own. But to summarize, we, apart from going abroad, we also had a lot of issues, such as losing our key, getting locked out of the room, finding food, having 4 hours sleep, and also having to cross the half a country to get from our accommodations to our conference venue, which someone thought was a good idea, and not to mention the jet lag. So these events at the time, you won't say were really funny or fun or even memorable. But 3 years down the line, me and my friends still talk about it in WhatsApp calls we have late in the night. Remember this? Remember what happened here? Remember this certain person who fell asleep in the room and locked ourselves out? Yes, so we laugh back at those and we find those moments very fond, right? For us, those physical events were really special because those were times we actually spent with each other. So those are my experiences I have as a student, and I'm still experiencing more things. So what I always tell people is that, extracurricular activities are very important because they develop your character, they develop your soft skills. Because whatever extracurricular activity you take part in, you are definitely going to learn something, right? Some activities you learn more than others, some you would learn something very unique. So my point is that, school is not just about learning, right? It's about improving yourselves, it's about creating character, and it's about, which goes back to experience, right? Experience defines who you are. And I don't do a sport, but I know people who do, and they feel the same way about their sport as I do about the clubs, societies I am in, right? These activities that we do are something we love to do, and we experience these with our friends and our family, and which we really enjoy. So I will leave you with that. To summarize, my experiences are still, we always experience things, and we will experience things until the day we die. And these experiences define who we are. Thank you.